I've got to show you. This is just cute. I was talking to my mother about this. I did not. It is springtime here in Arizona. We got these 5 little ducklings, and this mother. I don't know what type of goose this is, but boy, she is big. I don't know if you can see the background, but she was like the pigeons were coming up there, and she was just because somebody had fed them, right? And I'm gonna zoom in here, and she's like, "You leave my little gooses alone. I mean, my little chicklets alone." And she's she's just monitoring. And I actually know how to. It sounds weird how to communicate in a sense to her that I'm okay, that I won't hurt her. And now she's gonna be very protective. Well, okay, here comes somebody for food. She'll swat, and feathers even came out of some of these pigeons. But here's the thing: is that's like your God, your Creator. He's very protective of you, and just not call him a mother, but he's very protective. So the Lord of the good side, the good people. You know, they'll come out and attack and defend you if they need be. So I always got to put something. Yeah, I know, Kirk, I always got to put something in there, but I do, because you know you got to protect yours, because in this world you'll be eaten alive, right? Oh, there's a little girl that's gonna feed him. See, the goose just said, "Well, you're out of here." I hope you saw that. But earlier we had like 20 of them here. She was just pecking at him, and feathers flying and stuff like that. How long can you stand on one leg, folks? But anyway, this is cute. I'm gonna try to zoom in here a little bit and see there. And she's a good mother. You know, that's the thing is you're native. See, I'm not talking about this. I don't always be native, but here's the thing is, in our motherhood, we have ladies have that innate nature to take care of their children, right? And what's sad is that we have a lot of ladies these days that they all want to take care of themselves. So, you know, cold minute hearts, it's like even biblical in the scripture that even the ladies, all they care, and they walk away. I've heard some horrible stories about mothers not even caring and just walking away from their children and stuff like that. And men too. Now, I'm not just talking about that. You know, men have walked away from, you know, from the responsibility of being a good dad and things like that. So it's both sexes that people care more about themselves. You know, like even marriage, you know, that's what upsets me. You know, sometimes, yes, you got to get away from the situation because you're in a nightmare and evil thing going on in the society. But if you had that great relationship and, you know, and actually just work together, that there would be, you know, working with those children, stuff like that, you know, that divorces really shouldn't, you know, there would be less divorces if we hung out and actually, and then you hear about these marriages, well, I only hung out just till the children, you know, and raised. I remember a lady in Loveland, Colorado, that her husband beat her every day. It was horrible. Beat her, abused her, and she said, I took the crap for like 15 years because he started when, you know, until all the kids, it may have been longer, 15 or 18 years, until the last one got out of the house. And then she said, I finally left. And so anyway, and God has a way of making things happen, apparently within a year or something. Boy, I don't go in there. I don't know if that man had a nightmare on his hands. What comes around goes around. Live by the sword or live by hate, live by that thing. You might end up paying for that. You call it karma, sin. You are going to pay a price, folks. I mean, you don't. It's not even religious. Boy, karma is a bitch, and so is sin's a bitch. So anyway, so I mean, Nate, I want to stay positive. We had a really beautiful moment here with these little chicklets. And, you know, they're born yellow. See, that's what's really cool. You know, kind of like the sun. Yeah, I know they claim the sun's white now, but it's yellow. So a lot of chicks are born yellow like the sun. And then she's got a lot of white in her. But anyway, what else can I say? Probably Kirk, I don't remember. But anyway, there she goes off with her little chicklets. But boy, she's monitoring. Look at that. She's got on the shoreline. She's pumping her wings. Oh, I was going to tell you how you can approach a duck or a larger type of bird. What you'll do is you don't really stare them in the eyes. I don't know if I told you. I was doing this in Boulder, Colorado. They had it was an ostrich, and this ostrich, and I may mention in the video, but anyway, had this ostrich that I bowed to it. And what you do is you just take down. It's kind of like a Japanese bow. You kind of bow real slow and you move your head down first. And it's just showing a sign of, you know, I'm okay. I'm trying to lower myself with you and stuff like that. So the thing bowed to me. Then I had 4-year-old children and 8-year-old children. All these children come around me bowing to because they said, well, you know, I showed them how to bow to it. And this little girl goes, hey, that ostrich bowed to me. But it was funny though, because it came back another day and I bowed to this ostrich and it looked at me and said, bud, we've already like handshaked and bowed, no more, bud. He looked at me and said, quit your garbage. It was funny. It's true. He would not bow to me ever anymore. It's like, we've already bowed. So anyway, it's a sign of, you know, it's a communication that I'm not even sure. See, that's the thing is, even zoologists don't really study animal behavior. Some of them had some great people that learned to you remember that gal who did sign language to the monkeys. Animals can communicate. They communicate to each other. We just, you know, I don't understand why we do not study it enough. It's like everything else. All our sciences are messed up. You know, NASA studies only space, not the spirituality happening. Look at my YouTube video with the angel floating in the sky. I'm not in the sky, in the, I mispronounced the name, Melagenic Galaxy, you know. And so you can combine spirituality with this world. And that's what I'm understanding is that this new earth that we're going to have, that combination of more spirituality and things like that. See, but that's the thing is we don't have to be religious just to be good people. Born by divineness, like I said, a mother's born divine nature to take care of her children, then they get turned and move away. You know, and there's some great ladies out there that aren't even probably religious, heck, probably some atheists, right? So anyway, so my point is this too, is that, where's it headed? Oh my goodness, because I talk too much. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get a photo of her. Oh, she's starting to swat here, and then I'm gonna let you go on this. She's getting hunker. So yeah, you bow to her, and so I did that many times. I actually taught an officer that trick in Colorado. Her name was Hawk. Isn't that amazing? I taught her because there was an injured Canadian bird on the side of the field, and I showed her that to bow to it, move your head down. And I wish I could do it. I don't know if she's got her children, so I'm not sure if she'll. I just did it to her. I don't know if she'll respond or not. No, she's too busy trying to protect her little ones. But you know, and so if you ever bow to them, lower yourself, they're like, hey, he's okay. But, oh, that was my point. We don't study enough. Like even a singing frog. My former wife had a singing frog, and he was kind of lonely because the other one died that I had with him. So I went and took a YouTube video of a singing frog and played it for it. And oh, it had never sang, and it started singing. He would sing and sing. It was all those underwater ones. You know, he'd sit there, and he sang and sang and sang. You know, and he'd make noises like back. He was so excited to jump up, and he never moved. It brought joy to his heart. And so anyway, and also like I used to play like birds. Like I have one called Dunkin', one called Donuts in Colorado. And Dunkin' Donuts just like the place. Long story. I had to rescue Donuts from the former house. It's not the kids' fault. So anyway, so I ended up having two of them. But anyway, so Dunkin' and Donuts. And so I'd play music from other birds. They are parakeets. And so I'd play that for them and they'd love it. So here's the thing is that you can do is that make sure that you understand what those voices are, though, that they're having fun or something. These birds, can you play something that could be scary? Imagine if you recorded, you know, like an attack or something of an animal, that would scare them. So make sure, and you can tell by the behavior and stuff like that. So, you know, you can play YouTube clips of different types of animals you have that enjoy the singing frog and things like that. And I used to stick my little a little camera on there and play for, you know, and just on my cell phone with the screen, let it play, and then I'd look at it, and they say, hey, there's a whole family of them, a whole bunch here, and they loved it. So anyway, so that's what it is. Yeah, so if you have a pet or something, you can do that, play a little thing. They say dogs like to watch TV now. I don't know about that. Why we won't watch humans? My goodness, we're a mess as it is, and TV's a nightmare. Probably programming our. Oh, that's what one guy's got to tell you this. There was a guy who he used to play music, but he'd only play good stuff and wholesome stuff to his was it a parrot? I think it was a parrot or something, because he wanted to make sure, it may have been a cockatiel, I'm not sure, but he always made sure that it was good wholesome music, because they're kind of like humans too. You want to make sure that you play good music, and he actually played the bagpipe now in Longmont, Colorado, and really great bagpipe player, younger kid, about 24. Now that's the thing I was going to tell you, when I started to play my piano, because I was lonely living in my house by myself, wife had kicked me out, I had another house, And so I was bored, and that's how I learned to play the piano. And I was like, man, I'm sitting in this house by myself, lost my kids, a former wife kicked me out of the house. I'm lonely and I don't know what to do with myself. So I started playing. So that's where I didn't even play, take any music lessons. You don't have to, because it's almost better, because if you go with an untrained mind, you can do a lot more. It's kind of like the churches. I hate to say this. That's when the Bible says 144,000 are virgins of the church. It's not just because they were virgins because they hadn't been brainwashed and controlled to find their God and their Creator. Okay, so I understand that virgins, that term actually refers to that they don't belong to church. That's what I'm telling you. I do not belong to a church whatsoever. You know, sometimes you have fellowship with the church, which is fine. Okay, but anyway, so here's the thing is that I learned how to play the piano really good, and this is how I did it. I kind of listened to my own discernment, but then the birds, Dunkin' and Donuts, boy, they'd chirp and sing when it was playing really good. If it's bad, they'd turn their tail. I'm serious, they'd turn their tail after in their cage and say, "Oh my God, that's terrible, Kirk." That's all. And then I knew, it was like, "Oh, that ain't very good. I'm not playing very good." And they turn their rear ends at me and say, "That is bad." So then when I start playing good, they start chirping. "Wow, that's great, Kirk. You're doing a good job." It's like my little audience. And what was really cool about that is they'd actually sometimes fall asleep. You'd see them, they'd listen as long as they could, and then they'd fall asleep, you know. I miss those birds, folks. I got to get back. So ask the Creator and ask the Lord and angels. Yeah, I really want to see those birds. I haven't seen them in 3.5 years and stuff like that. I miss playing music with them and for them and stuff like that, right? So anyway, all right. I love you all and take care. And, you know, these birds, aren't they awesome? They're just floating around. Wouldn't it be nice to kind of be a bird sometimes? Or just a duck, I meant, or and just float around. And I used to tell people as a joke, I said, you know what? This is great. It'd be great to be able just to fly, because think about this. You know, they can fly to another park within seconds if they don't like this. If somebody's naughty, just fly away and go move on. You don't need a, you don't have to wait in line with the TSA and the security at the airport. If you want to head south, you just take off and head south, you know. And, you know what I mean? You're free. They're kind of free. I mean, they got a rough life trying to get food and this and that. And I'm sure it's rough out there in the wilderness trying to survive, because it's probably not kosher. But anyway, you know, these sometimes they get chased by dogs. They got to keep their eyes out. I've noticed dogs and kids chasing them and stuff like that. And I have seen injured ones. But anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be free, where no TSA, no waiting in line for 2 hours, no masks. Do you see any masks on the ducks? No, I don't. No. Nope, no masks. No grabbers. Now they have battles just like some of us, but you know, and I mean, there's territorial stuff they kind of fight for, but yeah. So who's the smarter ones? I was talking to a local lady here. Her name is Kathy, that here in Phoenix, trying to help her get a place to live. And she says, you know, she's a really nice lady and really nice, sweetheart, right? And I've been trying to help her get a place to live, and hopefully help me get that for her, folks, if you can pray for her, because she has had a mess, just a bad story. Former husband cheated on her, kicked her out of the house. She's been on the streets, in and out of out of churches. Churches used her, market employees. It's a long story. She has just been abused, and horrible story. But a really nice lady, and she always says to me, "Why is the world so mean to me?" She goes, "I don't get it." She goes, "I'm so nice, try to be nice to everybody. They take my money, they use me or abuse me and this and that. I just can't take it." So, and here's the problem with that, is that she's a good soul. She's a light of this world, and they're going to do that. They're just going to beat you and try to suck that energy right out of you. So, anyway, so let's hope that Kathy can find a place to stay where she can get some peace and rest from this stuff. Well, anyway, back to my point. She says, "I just want to live with some animals," because she goes, "I don't care." She goes, "I just want to live. They're so nice and kind and unconditional love and these other things." She goes, these people, she goes, "I just can't handle them." She goes, "I just rather live with animals because they're so kind and I like taking care of them." And she's got a cat that's just like her best friend, right? So anyway, not to go on about that. We know that animals can be very loving and caring, and you know, and they can provide you some great companionship. And I'm sure that's why God provided animals for some companionship, the dogs and cats and stuff like that. All right? God bless and love you all.